welcome you. Whomever you love, we welcome you. Whoever you are, we welcome you. Wherever you come from, we welcome you. Whomever you love, we welcome you.
I love that video, Lynn. Thank you for doing that. Good morning, everybody. This is Susan Rogers here. Our presenter today will be Robyn Perry. Lisa Merrill Price and Kevin McClooney are giving us technical help behind the scenes. Thank you so much for tuning in today. It's a blessing to be able to gather as a community, even though we can't be in touch with each other physically. Please be aware that today's service is going to be recorded and it will be posted on Facebook and YouTube. We gather today to foster our understanding of our place in the universe, embracing the worth and dignity of us all, supporting justice, equality, and peace in our world, accepting one another as we search for meaning, and respecting the connectedness of life. So please take a moment to think of all your friends at MVUUC. Greet them with a comment in the chat box. Remember that you can still reach out to them via mail or phone, social media, video chat. Physical distancing does not mean emotional distancing, so let us support and love one another. And let's take the next 10 seconds to honor the life and the work of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Visitors, we are a diverse group with varying interests and beliefs. Our services are varied in format, tone, and topic. We encourage you to view several services to gain a good understanding of our congregation. Those services are, of course, posted on Facebook and YouTube. If you would like to receive our weekly email newsletter, please email us at news@mvuuc.org. MVUUC remains committed to supporting our members and friends during this difficult time of social distancing. For that reason, we are coordinating assistance with things like groceries, phone calls, and other needs. If this sounds like something that would be helpful to you, please send an email to sac@mvuuc.org with your name and the kind of assistance that you would like to request. And now is the time for announcements. Announcements can be sent ahead of time to services@mvuuc.org to be read. If you have an important announcement now, you can raise your hand by clicking the raise hand button at the bottom of the participant box in Zoom. Then we will announce your name and turn on your mic and camera so that you can make the announcement yourself. Lisa, are there any announcements today?
Hi, Susan. Yes, we have 3 announcements so far today. The first one is that there is a congregational meeting next Sunday, September 27th, after service. We'll probably start around 12:15. We'll be discussing funding options for our fire monitoring system. So we do need as many congregational members as can be there, because we do need to have a quorum because we're going to vote. So please be there if you can. The next announcement is the Social Action Committee would like to encourage all congregation members to write letters to voters through the Vote Forward organization. Go to votefwd.org, and that email address is in the chat box as well, to register as a letter writer. Letters will go out in early October, so you still have lots of time to help increase voter turnout in the upcoming general election. And our next announcement is the MVUUC Anti-Racism Book Club will meet on Thursday, October 1st at 7 p.m., and we do that via Zoom. We will discuss Chapter 14 from How to Be an Anti-Racist. Please contact Megan at sac@mvuuc.org if you'd like to join us. And those are all of the announcements that I have.
All right. Thank you, Lisa.
Please join me in reading the words for the chalice lighting that appear as a comment in the chat box. We kindle this flame with love for the music in our lives. We kindle this flame in celebration of community and its generations. We kindle this flame with respect and support for the greater circle of life of which we are a part.
Our opening words today are by George Kimmich Beach with his poem called Everything Begins on the Verge of Awareness. Everything begins on the verge of awareness. The dawn is not, and then it is. Sleep is, and then it is not. In between is the awakening. The passage of thin light between breaks open the day. The passage of thin sound between flows into the day. Too soon, the numbing rumble of traffic swells, the day glares. Let the soft haze hang again across the row of morning. Wait upon the narrow moment, the first awareness of being in between. Live days and seasons on the thin edge of dawn, in praise that every single thing begins now. And now, here is Ruth DeBrott singing Colors of the Wind.
Sorry, somebody said that there is no sound, so I'm trying to figure it out. I'm sorry.
Just a dead thing you can claim. But I know every rock and tree and creature has a life, has a spirit, has a name. You think the only people who are people are the people who look and think like you. But if you walk the footsteps of a stranger, you learn things you never knew, you never knew. Have you ever heard the wolf cry to the blue corn moon? Or asked the grinning bobcat why he grinned? Can you sing with all the voices of the Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? Come run the hidden pine trails of the forest. Come taste the sun-sweet berries of the earth. Come roll in all the riches all around you. And for once, never wonder what they're worth. The rainstorm and the river are my sisters. The heron and the otter are my friends. And we are all connected to each other in a circle, in a hoop that never ends. How high does the sycamore grow? If you cut it down, then you'll never know. And you'll never hear the wolf cry to the blue corn moon, or whether we are white or copper skinned. We'll sing with all the voices of the mountain, learn to paint with all the colors of the wind. You can own the earth and still, all you own is earth until you can paint with all the colors of the wind.
When I moved to Bowling Green from Fremont, California, about 30 miles southeast of San Francisco, the first thing I did after officially getting all of my clothes and books moved from my car into my apartment was go bedding and grocery shopping. My best friend from high school and I got in the car and headed off for errands, commenting about the heat and the humidity the whole time. We drove to Meyer, which neither of us had ever been to before, and got out of the car. It immediately started to rain to us out of nowhere. We somewhat panicked and ran inside while others, to our surprise, with no umbrellas, walked around as if nothing was happening. Soaked, we did our shopping. When we left the store, half the parking lot was being rained on, while the other half was dry. We had never seen anything like it, and we were convinced that we were watching some sort of weird weather phenomenon. No, we were just somewhere that actually has seasons, unlike where I'm from. Last summer was much hotter than this past one. I quickly learned that I should not keep the windows open too long, as the spices in my kitchen would clump together, my Himalayan salt lamp would start to leak, and the old books on my shelves would stink. I'd never had an air conditioner before, so I just used a fan next to my bedside until one of my friends pointed out to me the thermostat on the wall. The stickiest, most humid summer that I have ever experienced quickly turned to autumn, my first real one, and one that I will always remember. By this time, I had developed a routine and had gotten used to both campus and town, so I started to venture out. I hadn't really made good enough friends yet to just ask people to go places with me, so I would go by myself. Thanks to a suggestion from one of my professors, I visited Wildwood Park up in Toledo. The fall foliage on the trees was nothing like I'd ever seen before. Such a gorgeous palette of colors, and I know my first real autumn in Ohio influenced my favorite color choices, as they are now deep orange and a reddish purple. It was also around this period of time when I first visited MVUUC, looking for something to do that wasn't homework. Within a few weeks, I remember being invited to my first circle dinner at Becky Croak's cozy home, and I still miss my usual cozy Sunday morning ritual of getting to the church early and having a warm cup of tea before service. About 3 months after my move here, I had one of the most exciting experiences of my life, my first snow. While everyone in my cohort's group chat, all Ohio natives, were making fun of me, I excitedly made soup and tea, sat on my couch, bundled up in a blanket, and with childlike wonder in my eyes, recorded and took many pictures of my first snow to send back home to my parents and my friends, many of whom hadn't seen snowfall themselves. My apartment was partially underground, and it was a perfect, heavy, clean, white blanket of snow that covered the bushes up against my window. The next day, I woke up early, so excited I could barely sleep. I kept waking up to look out my bedroom window and watch how the light from the cars and streetlights glistened off of the snow. I got to campus very early and walked around just taking in the landscape that had changed so vastly, literally overnight. I made sure that no one was watching me as I trudged through the deep snow, took my gloves off, and ate some, just to fully feel the entirety of the fluffiness that was overwhelming my senses. I was so excited and cannot remember the last time I felt this emotion of childlike awe. I was besides myself. As more people came to campus, including my friends, all I heard was complaints about how it shouldn't have been snowing that early, while I was trying to keep myself from looking like a total idiot, grinning from ear to ear. In December, I spoke with one of the faculty members in my department who is from very near where I am from. He asked me how I was enjoying my first winter, and seemingly much to her dismay, I expressed how much I loved it. We reminisced for a while about being able to walk barefoot into our backyards in December to pick a ripe lemon, but I was perfectly content with my new life. I loved getting together with my fellow grad students on a crispy, snowy night to chat over a few beers at a brewery that was so jam-packed with bodies that there was about a 50-degree temperature difference inside. I loved drinking hot tea and snuggling with a blanket while I graded and wrote papers. While it happened during the COVID-19 pandemic, which is still happening, my first spring was so much fun. Every day when I would walk home from school, baby bunnies and squirrels were absolutely everywhere. Baby birds chirped in the trees and flowers rebloomed. It was such a metamorphic time. I helped quite a lot with the garden we have outside of the church, which was also a new experience for me, which helped me learn more about seasonal cycles. I also took advantage of MVUUC's outside space by hosting a couple of socially distanced picnics with my friends. Even though 2020 has been a very difficult year for us all, I am grateful that I have been able to experience my first set of seasons. My favorite hobby is cooking, and I never really understood the idea of using seasonal produce, to be completely honest. While I knew that some fruits and vegetables were better quality at different times of the year, it just wasn't something I thought about. The first time I went into a grocery store during the dead of winter in Ohio, I was actually a little shocked at the lack of produce. But now I very much enjoy seasonal grocery shopping and cooking, and getting produce out of the MVUUC garden has been an added bonus. Experiencing my first round of seasons has been one of my favorite parts of moving to Bowling Green. Today's service largely reflects the seventh of the 7 UU principles and comes from Reverend Forrest Gilmore, Executive Director of the Shalom Community Center in Bloomington, Indiana. Our 7th principle, respect for the interdependent web of all existence, is a glorious statement, yet we make a profound mistake when we limit it to merely an environmental idea. It is so much more. It is our response to the great dangers of both individualism and oppression. It is our solution to the seeming conflict between the individual and the group. Our 7th principle may be our Unitarian Universalist way of coming to fully embrace something greater than ourselves. The interdependent web, expressed as the spirit of life, the ground of all being, the oneness of all existence, the community forming power, the process of life, the creative force, even God, can help us develop that social understanding of ourselves that we and our culture so desperately need. It is a source of meaning to which we can dedicate our lives.
Thank you, Robyn. Now more than ever, we are counting on your pledge payments and donations to help sustain and strengthen this congregation. that is so important to all of us, supporting our efforts to be a community of love, truth, justice, and service. Please click on the link in the chat box or scan the QR code and be sure to select the correct designation on the drop-down box when you donate. Thank you.
Our clothing thoughts today are by Andrew Pakula. May you know fully and deeply the blessings of each of your heart's seasons, the inward turning of winter, springtime's lush renewal, the effortless, steady growth of summer, and autumn's rich harvest. May your passage from season to season be blessed, eased by hands to hold, and by the light of love to guide you on. Please join me in reading the words for extinguishing our chalice that can be found in the comments in the chat box. As we extinguish this chalice, let us remember that the care of the earth is our most ancient and most worthy, and after all, our most pleasing responsibility. To cherish what remains of it and to foster its renewal is our only legitimate hope.
And now, to close out today's program, here is Ruth DeBrott singing "Bless the Beasts and the Children."
Bless the beasts and the children, for in this world they have no voice. They have no choice. Bless the beasts and the children, for the world can never be the world they see. Light their way when the darkness
was beautiful. Thank you, Ruth. So that is the end of the service. But please stay tuned for the virtual coffee hour that follows. We're going to turn on all the videos and the mics so that you can chat with your fellow MVUUC members and friends. Please be patient, as turning on the cameras must be done one at a time, and it can just take a few minutes to get everybody on board. So thank you and have a great Sunday.